Hello everyone, I'm in beautiful Peru. I've been traveling around for the last month. I'm nearing the end of my vacation and it's been an incredibly positive, transformative time for me. I've learned so much about myself, about this country, and I am just totally in love with it. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever visited. And so I'm here to talk about something way less beautiful. I'm here to talk about traveler's diarrhea. I have been traveling around this whole month and I haven't gotten it, and yeah, I finally did. And it's funny because I know exactly where I got it from. I eat local food all the time. It's never really been an issue for me. But I went to this particular restaurant and I was eating it, and the food is cooked. You know, I follow all the normal guidelines for being safe eating in a foreign country. And I ate it, and it was so funny. I could feel my heart rate go up right away, and I felt really warm. And I knew it was bad, but I just kept eating it because, you know, I had paid for it. I didn't want to be rude, and it was cooked, so it shouldn't have caused me a problem. But right after that, that's when I started to start feeling sick. So I'm going to just talk about what to do if you get traveler's diarrhea and you didn't bring anything, you didn't come prepared, all right? So first things first, you need to drink a ton of water, all right? So like this is what, 1.5 liters? No, 2.5. I would drink at least one of these a day when I have diarrhea. And what's happening with diarrhea is when you ingest a bacteria that's bad for you, your intestinal lining is actually closed by these little tight junctions, right? The cells have these tight junctions that keep things tight and close, so things can't get out and things can't get in unless they're allowed to. But what the body does when it has bad bacteria in it, it will open up these tight junctions and allow fluid to come from the blood and the tissues into the intestines to literally flush them out. They're trying to flush out that bad bacteria. So diarrhea is a good thing. You want it. You want to flush those bad guys out. You don't want them to take up residency. So the worst thing you could actually do is to try to stop the diarrhea, is to take Imodium right away or do something to stop it. You want to let the diarrhea happen. And because fluid is being drawn out of the tissues, you're going to feel dehydrated, which is why it's so important to drink water. All right. The second thing is, you know, this fluid is being drawn out of the tissues, and so are valuable salts, because salts are found in those fluids. So your electrolytes. So second thing you can do is if you happen to find or have brought an electrolyte replenishment powder, this is great. You could put this in your water and just drink it, and it will help replenish the electrolytes that are lost. But if you don't have this and you are in a foreign country and you didn't bring anything, you could do something that I would never tell you normally to do. Drink Gatorade. Yeah. I wouldn't drink it straight. I would add it to the water and drink it throughout the day, but that's going to help replenish the electrolytes as well. Generally, when you're in that very critical diarrhea stage, you also want to eat light. So you don't want to eat anything too heavy. You know, eat more like lighter, bland foods. One thing that's really particularly good to eat is bananas. Bananas have potassium, which is one of the salts that's getting lost. They also help tighten the junctions a little bit, not to stop the diarrhea, but to make it a little bit easier. So banana's good, and you can usually find it in most countries where you tend to get traveler's diarrhea. And the greener the banana, the better, because it's more astringent and it has more prebiotics to feed the good bacteria. Speaking of prebiotics and probiotics, at this point, you don't really want to be taking probiotics or yogurt or things like that. You're just allowing the flushing to happen, all right? So yeah, when you do have acute diarrhea, the best thing to do is to find, if you can, stop your traveling, just chill out and just like let it happen, you know, sit by the pool near a toilet and just, you know, let it happen for a day or two. Now, if it starts to get beyond a day or two, that's when you want to start thinking of maybe doing some more things. So something that I do travel with is something called activated charcoal. Activated charcoal, you could take, usually you could buy them in pill forms, but also powder, and you could ingest it, and that helps absorb the bad bacteria, and it will turn your poop black, but it works. It works quite well. Another thing you might want to consider traveling with is oil of oregano. Oil of oregano, you could take a couple dropperfuls, and that will help kill the bad bacteria. What else? Mint tea, you can find mint tea here in Peru. You can find it in many countries. Drinking a lot of mint tea will help not only kill the bad bacteria, but it also helps soothe the spasming of the intestinal lining. So that's another good one. All right, but if you're on day 2 or 3 of diarrhea, that's when you might want to consider medication. So usually before I travel, I go to the doctor and I get a prescription for something called Cipro. I think it's Ciprolex. I call it Cipro, and it's an anti-diarrhea medication. And sometimes when I travel, I don't end up taking it, but I did. I was on day 2.5 of diarrhea. I have a long bus ride tonight, and I also am touring around this beautiful wildlife sanctuary, and I did not want to miss it. And so I decided that I have waited long enough and things weren't getting any better, and it was time. So, after 2.5 days, if you have your medication, take it. Keep staying hydrated, keep eating those things I said to eat, and you may not have to take as much medication. And or if you need to, if you're in a real pinch, you could do something like Imodium, but generally I wouldn't recommend it. So, in conclusion, you want to let it happen. You want to let it happen and for a couple days and just let the body flush it out. Remember to drink lots of water and to replenish your salts. So that's it. That's my video about diarrhea. Who knows, I would be sitting in Peru making a video about diarrhea, but I did because I think it's valuable for people to know. And so anyway, I'm gonna go for lunch now. All right, bye everyone.